Welcome back, everybody. It's a bird, it's a plane. It is Superman's very own Sarah Douglas, who starred in the classic superhero film and its hit 1980 sequel. Thank you so much for being here with me in studio this morning.
Thank you. It's wonderful. It's a little early.
we say that all the time, but it is beautiful to have you here with us this morning because you are in town here in Chicago, in the Chicagoland area, for a very special event that we're going to talk about here in just a second. But you were in the original Superman movies.
Absolutely. And do you know how many years ago that was?
How many years ago? I believe it was before my time.
No, don't.
1980.
Well, and I was working on it mid-70s. So
oh, wow.
Yes, thank you. I was a mere child when I started, and I'm still standing.
You are.
It is, I think next year, Superman 2 is, I think it's 45 years.
Oh, my goodness.
But here we are, still talking about it.
A cult classic at that. For those that may not be familiar, tell everybody the character that you played as we're showing you from the film.
Well, I basically am evil, but I have all the powers of Superman. But he's for good, I'm for evil.
You're the villain.
Yeah, so I have super breath, I fly, I have extra eyes, I get great parking spaces.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely. I've only got to flash my eyes at people.
You said you play a super villain and you're evil. How much of that translates into your real life?
Well, I had an ex-husband who's... There you are. Very little. I'm a joy. I've grown into my delightful self.
Yes, it is such a joy to actually be able to sit here in front of you and talk to you about this film. How does it feel to have a cult classic that you were part of that still has stood the test of time? There have been so many remakes and TV shows and all this based off of that original film.
You know, it is... I'm always amazed, but I mean, here we are, as I said, all these years later, to have people want to talk about it, continually want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And America, of course, is very generous to me. I've lived in Los Angeles for 20-some-odd years. I feel like it's my home, although I'm back in England. And we must remember, yesterday, 20 years yesterday, was the anniversary of Christopher Reeve, who, of course, was our Superman, of his death. So this seems incredibly...
Timely
to be here talking about it, and it lives on.
It certainly does, and you're here for a special reason, because this weekend at Imagine Theater in Batavia, they're hosting a rare screening of Superman 2, and you're going to be there. You're going to be able to greet fans of this movie, this cult classic, and it's also benefiting a good cause as well. Absolutely.
I'm going to be sharing I might not share my popcorn, but I'm going to be there. And yes, for the United Way, some of the funds are going to go to them. So it's a good cause.
Yeah.
But for me, to see it on a giant screen, because from what I understand, Imagine have this extraordinary giant screen.
They do. Yeah. I love Imagine Theater. They're here in Batavia. Yes. They're all across the Midwest, and we love that. So we want to invite everybody to come out, check your local times for Imagine Theater in Batavia, and come out and meet Sarah Douglas.
Thank you so much.
The star of the supervillain of the film. It was very nice to meet you.
Thank
you for coming here from all the way across the pond.
It's been my pleasure, and I know you're a singer, and I want you out there so I can say that I know that guy.
Oh, well, I'm going to say I know that villain.
Well, we have a deal.
There we go. I love it. Pete, over to you.
I just remember the movie. I remember it coming out, and that was another fear when they talked about nuclear explosions. That's how she escaped from her prison on that plane. Nuclear explosion in outer space, and all of a sudden she and the other villains were free to come to Earth and do those nasty things. So yeah, I remember that movie. Classic.